Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Mocha Moments. It's that time again, and I'm hoping that many of you will be joining me real soon. I'm looking for my Mocha crew to jump on here and join me. Hope you got your notifications turned on. If you have not turned on your notifications, please take the time to turn on those notifications. I know that many of you have probably many things in your list of notifications that you probably get notified on things all the time. But I hope you will set me as one of those primary notifications. Good evening, sis. You are the first one that popped into the comment box tonight, and I know you're a part of the Mocha crew. Throw up that hashtag so everybody can see it. That hashtag Mocha crew, because I know you're with me. As you all are popping in, y'all know the new requirements, especially those of you that are part of the Mocha crew. Pop in. Type your greeting in the comment box, and don't forget to throw up that hashtag Mocha Crew. Mocha Crew. Those of you that are joining us for the very first time, you've just tapped into Mocha Moments. I'm your host, Dr. Tony D. Cobbins. I'm your life coach. I'm your trainer. I am your consultant. I am your teacher. I am pastor. But again, I'm on here tonight in the capacity of Dr. Cobbins, life coach and trainer. And again, I know this is going to be a real blessing to you. I'm in the midst of this 30-day challenge. I've been telling you about this 30-day challenge. I think this is day 8 of this particular challenge. And so far, so good. And I want to thank all of you that have been going along the journey with me from day one, helping me throughout this challenge. I'm going to state it again, as I've stated before. Many of you have expressed to me your desires for me to come on and present Mocha Moments. You've been requesting this several times, and this is a way of getting it all ramped up. Wow. This is the time somebody wants to call me. Now, I've been sitting here all day, and actually, some of my equipment I got here, one of my devices, it's impossible for me to silence. That's the reason why you keep getting that interruption. But I'm going to have to check back with them after I'm done with Mocha Moments. They got to know I'm with my Mocha crew right now. Those of you that are joining for the first time, I requested the other night, those of you that want to be a part of the Mocha crew, you're going to commit yourself to being a part of the Mocha crew. I want you to throw up that hashtag Mocha crew and let me know that you're with us. What is this Mocha crew thing all about? The Mocha crew is the crew that's going to hang with me always. It's going to be here every time I come on, or at least most of the time when I come on, and you're going to share with me. And as I share with you, because of who you are, we're the Mocha crew. We believe in doing all we can to add value to the lives of others. So since you're a part of the Mocha crew, then you're going to be expected to share what you've been receiving. And one of the ways you can share is you can share this link with somebody right now and invite them to join us and to be on here with us tonight as I share the wisdom that God has inspired me to share with you. We're going to have a great session here tonight. I'm really excited about it. Again, you want to be a part of the Mocha crew, throw up that hashtag Mocha crew, and then send the link to somebody else. We're here to add value to the lives of people. Once again, it's Saturday night, and I know a lot of people are preparing for Sunday morning. I know I'm going to be preparing for Sunday morning, and many of you might be in the midst of your Mother's Day celebrations. Lady Ann just popped on. Y'all know I got to stop and acknowledge her every time she pops in. I know some of you are in the midst of your Mother's Day celebration. This is Mother's Day weekend. I know tomorrow is actually Mother's Day, but some people get the festivities and the celebration started early. And I ain't mad at you. And I don't want to take up too much of your time as you're preparing both for Mother's Day and for Sunday morning worship. So we're not going to be on here very long tonight. At least that's not my intentions. Let me say good evening to all of you that have popped in since I've been kind of rolling off my introduction. And if I haven't said hello to you, Dr. Pat, Melvin Porter, Lucy, Tracy, Marquita, Tisha, good evening, Vonda, Brother Ron, all of you, good evening to all of you. I'm so glad that you've joined us here on this evening. And I'm only going to wait another minute or so, maybe not even that long, for more people to connect with us tonight. But I'm going to get right into things in just a minute or so, because I don't want to hold you too long tonight, because I want you to be ready and fresh tomorrow to come into the house of worship and give God praise. Tara Kazam, good evening to you. I want you to be vibrant and wide-eyed and alert and attentive, and be in your worship spirit tomorrow when you enter into the house of the Lord. Although tomorrow is Mother's Day, our focus will still yet be on worshiping the God of our salvation. That's my preacher hat, my pastor hat coming out right there. But I'm going to shift back into Dr. Coach mode in just a minute here. T. Reed, good evening to you. Those of you that may be joining us for the very first time, if you don't mind, just throw in the comment box with your greeting. Tell me where you're viewing from, what part of the city you're in, what part of the state you're in, what part of the country you're in. Just throw that in the comment as well, because we have people across the country and other states that pop into Mocha Moments, and they are regular. And I want you to see, Kansas City, that you're not the only ones that's connected to Mocha Moments. Well, tonight I want to talk to you about using your courage to rise to the top and become the cream of the crop. Anton, good to see you. Thank you for or Antony. Somebody's going to have to help me pronounce that name right. You're probably going to have to put it out there in phonics, break it down, parse it for me, so I'll know how to pronounce your name, because I hate chopping up people's names or mispronouncing their names. Cassandra, God bless you. Thank you for popping in from South Kansas City. Thank you once again. And again, if you're part of the Mocha crew, don't forget to throw up that hashtag Mocha crew, hashtag Mocha crew. Again, I want to talk to you about using your courage to rise to the top and become the cream of the crop. Now, listen, let me have you to understand. This is for anyone who wants to be much better than they are, and you've been somewhat shaky or unstable in your belief that you can be much better than you really are. So let me ask you a question. I want to start by asking you a question. Have you ever wanted to be the best at what you do, but you allowed your fear and insecurities to keep you from striving to do so? Or you found a way to talk yourself out of believing that you can rise to the top, or you can be the best at whatever you're doing? All right. Have you ever been in that kind of situation? I know that I have. I've struggled with that for many, many years. With as gifted and talented as some people believe that I was, and tried to help me to believe that I was, I still struggled with believing myself that I could be the best at what I do. I struggled to believe that I am one of the best at what I do. And one of the things that kept me back from thinking that and believing that is the principle or the indoctrination that I grew up with, that suggested that anytime you start to commend yourself or to speak well of yourself, then you are operating out of a spirit of vanity. And that's not necessarily the case. I think what took place when those things were being poured into us, when that kind of thinking was being poured into us, that it was taken in to the totally opposite extreme. It's one thing to have a vain spirit and to think more highly of yourself than you ought to think, but it's not good to be self-loathing. Are you feeling me? It's not good to never give yourself credit for who you are, and even now to be able to commend and compliment yourself. Because the reality is, when you look at who you are, what you're capable of doing, um, you got to acknowledge the fact that you can't do any of what you do except God be the one to gift you and empower you to do what you do. Okay. So you're not really giving the credit to yourself. You're giving the credit to God, but at the same time, token, you are acknowledging what God is doing through you and what he is empowering you to do. There's nothing wrong with that. When we were constantly being told, or it was being fed to us, that if you say anything good about yourself, then you're operating out of a vain spirit, we were really having our spirits crushed. We really were. Our spirits were being destroyed simply because we were being fed the wrong thing. Now, there's a balance to everything. You can get too little of something or too much of something, and you'll be out of balance either way. But there's a happy medium with just about anything that we engage in or attempt to do. There's a happy medium with the approach that we ought to have when it comes to trying to achieve certain things. And again, I know many of you have talked yourself out of even attempting to do some of the things that you know that you are capable of doing, but there's this little voice in the back of your mind that constantly talks to you and says the wrong things to you, and you listen more to that voice of negativity than you do the voice of positivity. Have you said things to yourself like, I'm just not good enough. I just don't have what it takes. Everyone else seems to be much better than I am. I know I've said those kind of things to myself. And I've said those kind of things to myself more than many of you could ever imagine. I've shared with some friends and close people who are very close to me. I've told some of them recently, those I felt safe enough to share it with, that I've struggled for years never believing that I was good enough. And some of you might think, how could that possibly be? Every time we see you, Dr. Cobbins, you seem to be so confident. You seem to do what you do with such ease, and confidence seems to just ooze out of you. Well, I'm glad that you get that impression, if that's the impression that you get. But the truth is, down on the inside, I'm telling you, every time I would get finished preaching, every time I would get finished teaching, I always sat down wondering if I was good enough, and always thinking, hey, I could be much better. Now, there's nothing wrong with me believing that I could be much better, but I had a very imbalanced way of viewing myself with regards to what I was able to accomplish when given any task or situation. I can recall one Sunday after ministering in Sunday morning worship, my wife and we got in the car and we're riding home and everything. And I began to share with her, I just felt so off today. Wow, that's interesting, Tisha. You just threw something in the comment that is really very interesting. That imposter syndrome thing is real. And it's kind of a hard pill to swallow when you feel like you fit into that mold. Uh, but I never felt as though that I was suffering from the imposter syndrome. I think I really was suffering from not appreciating what God was doing through me. And I spent so much time focusing on everybody else and what they seemed to be able to accomplish that I never took time to appreciate the gifts that God had given me. Okay. So again, back to this story wherein I was talking with Lady Ann on the way home, and I was just telling her, I said, I just felt kind of off. I just need to do better. It just seemed like things didn't come together as they should. And she started to tell me, well, I thought the message was wonderful. I thought it was powerful. And I said, well, no, I just didn't feel, I'm just not doing what I think I need to do. And she asked me the question. She said, well, what is it that you really expect? And she began to tell me people are being blessed, being helped. The message was powerful. The message was clear, but I was so affixed on comparing myself to other people that I minimized what God was doing through me. I know that more than myself have had these kind of feelings. You've had these kind of struggles. Maybe some of you who've never had to be placed in a position where you're having to present in front of people, or you have to give leadership to people, or you have to give guidance, direction, instruction, and all of that. Maybe you never experienced those kind of feelings, right? But those of us who are in leadership position, in leadership roles, who are responsible for guiding other people, I'm quite sure there have been times where you have felt that way. And if you're one of those people, throw it up in the comment box. Let me know. Minister Vonda say, yes, I've struggled with that. Thank you. The struggle is real when it comes to that kind of thing. But we say these kind of things about not being good enough, not having what it takes, and these things about everybody being so much better. But the question is, when it comes to certain things, how would you ever know such to be the case when you never attempt to do what you say you want to do? Some of you don't know the potential you have in yourself, the potential that lies within you, simply because you are too afraid to try to do what's in your heart to do. Here's the problem. The problem is you're allowing yourself to be intimidated by the successes of others. Okay? Let me give you a remedy for that, if you will. Instead of being intimidated by the successes of others, why not get inspired by their success and then study to find ways to improve upon their success? How about that? Because it doesn't matter how great a thing may appear to be, whatever it is, it can stand to be improved upon. And let me let you in on this little secret. The improvements on the original does not always come from the original creator. Sometimes it takes someone else taking a look at another person's project, another person's ideal, another person's invention, and deciding that, hey, I can improve upon that. Henry Ford was one of the first people to mass produce cars. He was one of the first people with his company to mass produce cars. Is Ford the only car company in the world now? Of course not. As a matter of fact, while Henry Ford was working on the Model T, someone in another car company was working on another car, and they're competing all the time, trying to improve on this invention that is now, more than 100 years old. They're constantly making improvements. Think about this. Every year, when the new model of a specific car comes out, there's something a little better about the latest model than there is about the older model. The latest model is always much better than the older model. Why? Because someone has been sitting in some laboratory or in some war room coming up with ways to improve upon a product. You can take the same approach to things. All you really have to do is apply your uniqueness to the situation. How about that? Be inspired, not intimidated. You can find ways to improve on someone else's invention. But first, you must learn to appreciate and be confident in your own uniqueness and your own giftedness. The gift that you have is unique to you. That's the reason why God gave it to you. And you know what? Since God gave it to you, then it is just as good as what he has given to anybody else. You've just got to learn how to appreciate it and be confident in it. You must allow yourself to see yourself through different lenses and from a different perspective than how you typically view yourself. You got to start looking at yourself much differently. And I understand it's not always easy. And it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of self-talk. You got to talk to yourself. Remind yourself of who you are. Remind yourself of the intelligence that God has equipped you with. Remind yourself of the abilities that God has gifted you with. Embrace it. And don't worry about what anybody else thinks of it or has to say about it. So why is seeing yourself differently so important? It is because once you start to see yourself through more positive lenses, that's when you will discover an internal courage to do what you want to do without any regards to anyone else. It takes courage to do that. It takes courage to pursue things and go about doing things and not give any regard or any thought to what other people are going to think or say. I've been doing music all my life. I've loved music all my life. I've been singing since as early as I can remember. I taught myself to play piano and organ. I love music. But even while I was in the process of learning and developing my skill, both from the vocal and from the instrumental side of things, I used to be really nervous. No, more like petrified when it came to standing up before people. And my fear was quite visible because at times I would literally shake when I was in front of people. You can see my legs my hands or whatever, and my brothers would tease me and they would call me shaky anytime I did anything publicly, right? And I had to talk to myself. One of the reasons why I was so afraid is because of the fact that I knew that there were certain people in the audience, maybe even several people in the audience, who were more gifted at singing or playing the instrument than I was. And I was always intimidated by them. I didn't really want to do anything ahead of them or behind them because I didn't want to be compared to them. I feared that I was going to embarrass myself, and the embarrassment would manifest when the other person would begin to operate in their giftedness and talents. So how did I get over that? I finally told myself something one day. Right before I got up to sing a solo once, I said to myself, Tony, you got to believe that you are the best singer in the house. And I said to myself, yeah, you're right. I'm the best singer in the house. Now, some of y'all might say that's arrogance, but no, that was building up my confidence. Okay. That was helping me to build up my courage. And let me tell you how I came to justify my thinking with regards to being the best singer in the house. I justify it by concluding that when I'm singing a solo, I'm the only singer in the house. And at the time, since I'm the only singer in the house, in those moments during my time of singing, I am thereby the best singer in the house. It did me a world of good for my confidence. It did me a world of good for my courage. And once I developed that mentality, I found myself getting better and better and becoming more at ease with what I was doing because I did what I did based on my giftedness, my originalness. And people appreciated me having the courage to do what I did. Did I crack every now and then? Yes. Did I miss a few notes every now and then? Absolutely. But by the time I gained the confidence, I was able to cover up my cracks and make my off-pitch notes sound somewhat beautiful, melodic, if you will. Listen, let me tell you something. Courage is a powerful tool. I know that many of us believe that we have a good idea of what courage is. Most of us equate courage to a feeling, but courage is more than just a feeling. I want you to take note of this. Make note of this. If you don't make note of anything else, I want you to walk away with this nugget of wisdom here. Courage is strength. That's what it is. Let me give you the Webster definition of courage. According to Webster, courage is defined as mental or moral strength to venture, persevere, and withstand danger, fear, or difficulty. It's the mental or moral strength to venture, to step out where you've never stepped before, to persevere, to push through difficulties and even challenges and opposition, and to withstand danger, to stand in the face of danger, to stand in the face of fear and overcome your fear, to stand in the face of difficulty. Your courage will strengthen you and give you the power to work through whatever you're challenged by. Plain and simple, courage is the internal strength that enables you to overcome your fear. Wow. And whenever you're able to overcome your fear by tapping into your courage, you thereby position yourself to be able to achieve or accomplish at the highest level. When you tap into that courage, you're able to rise above mediocre. Wow, isn't that powerful? When you're able to tap into your courage, you begin to move into a class all your own. When you tap into your courage, you don't have to compare yourself to anything or anybody. Thank you. My big sister, she threw up something in the comment box. She recalled when I sang at the National Baptist Convention at Downtown Municipal Auditorium. I sang and she did. She said I sang and she did all the shaking. I was 12 years old singing with the adult choir in the National Baptist Convention. Yeah. And there was another teenager that was allowed to sing in the adult choir who had a powerful voice. I don't know, some of you may know of Laverne Johnson, the daughter of late Pastor A.L. Johnson Sr. Oh, and Laverne just had a melodious, powerful voice. And we were two teenagers that were allowed, the two youngest that were allowed to sing with the adult choir on a national stage. And I tell you, yes, I was nervous, but I overcame my fear by talking to myself and then getting a pep talk from my mom as well. It's good to have someone in your corner who will talk and encourage you and help you to overcome your fear. Other people can help you to tap into your courage. And when you got people that will support you, that will help you to tap into your courage, they are actually your support that's pushing you and helping you to rise to the top and become the cream of the crop. Your courage will push you to do extraordinary things and cause you to stand out among many. All I'm trying to tell you tonight is that you can become the cream of the crop. Regardless of the odds being stacked against you, you can become, the cream of the crop. There's a warrior in you. There's a brave soul in you. There's courage way down on the inside it's just waiting to be unleashed. And I'm telling you, once you unleash that courage, my goodness, oh my gosh, you can't imagine what's possible once you tap into your courage. You like that, Toya? That's it. Tap into your courage. I hope all of you all like that. You've got to find it within yourself to believe that you can, know that you can, and do what you know you can do. It's not just a feeling, but it's a strength, an inner strength waiting to be unleashed. Anybody in my Mocha crew ready to unleash that courage and do something great? Anybody? You ready to do what you've been hesitant to do? Are you ready to pursue that dream or that vision that's been on the inside of you, waiting to be unleashed? Well, no more excuses. You got to let go of those excuses and start pursuing that dream. You know, Minister Vonda, I'm going to cause you to change your language, because that's what we do here in the Mocha crew. We pushed each other to achieve greatness. And I challenge you to change your language from I'll try to I will. Yeah, so I need you to retype that comment and that confirmation in the comment box. Change it from I'll try to I will. And before you say I don't know, I'm gonna put on my pastor preacher hat. Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. You can do by the help of the Lord. Cassandra says, I'm all in. Lady Ann says, yes. You see there, Vonda? Toya's encouraging you. She said, you got this. You got this. Unleash your courage. It's powerful. Yeah, I don't blame you, Dr. Pat, for being tired of not moving forward. And I don't know if your situation is like my situation, where the only thing that was keeping me from moving forward was myself. You know, if that's the case, go ahead, move forward. It's in you. You got this. You got the power to do what you need to do. And I guarantee you, once you start to move in the direction that you desire to move in, oh my gosh, what a feeling you'll experience. What a breakthrough that you'll receive. Thank you, Tisha. I love that. Don't overthink it. Like Nike, just do it. Oh, that's great right there. Yeah. Vonda, you said that's the only way to get done through Christ. That's the only way you need to try to do it. I wouldn't expect you to try to do it any other way. We can do whatever we need to do in life through Christ. Amen. There's your confirmation. It's coming left and right. All right. Well, I hope y'all been blessed. I hope you've been tremendously blessed by what we shared here on tonight. I wanted to be a blessing and to add value to your life. Y'all, guess what? I've been talking about my book all week. I've been saying that it's on the way. Well, I got an announcement. It's here. Here it is. I received my paperback copies today. I'll have them available at the church in the morning. I'll be doing a book signing immediately after service. So I hope that you will be ready to get your new copy. This will be a good Mother's Day gift for some people. Well, some of you might be saying, well, I don't know if I want to give my mother something like this. If your mother has been a member of a church for any length of time, you'll be surprised how this book will enlighten her. And I think it speaks for pastors. It speaks about pastors, but it also speaks to pastors. It's not just for pastors, but I believe it'll be a blessing for members of congregations to get this copy, get a copy of this book rather, and read it and gain a little better, greater insight into the minds and thoughts of pastors. I guarantee you what I've written in this book, I'm not the only one who feels the way I feel, who've had the kind of experiences that I share in the book. I know there's, and you know what? It's not just applicable to pastors. I believe leaders can benefit from reading this book, because one of the things that I encourage pastors to do is find a balance. And I'm encouraging leaders to do that as well. Find a balance in your life. And I'm telling you, if you find the balance, the proper balance in your life, you can stay healthy and effective for many, many, many years to come. Well, that's all I have for tonight. Again, we hope that you'll be in worship in the morning. Those of you that are members of Canaan, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning in worship. For others of you that are not members of Canaan, I encourage you to get to your house of worship and give God thanks and praise. And for those of you that are mothers that are connected with us, whom I may not see tomorrow in worship or whatever, or maybe you might even get caught up when I come on tomorrow evening, I want to say nevertheless, happy Mother's Day to you all in advance. And I trust that your celebration will be one that is unforgettable in a very, very good and special way. God bless all of you. For those of you that are sending your thanks, it is my honor and I'm humbled to be able to serve you through this this form of media. God bless you. And with that being said, once again, I say God bless and good night.